Welcome to Recently Logged, where we're finally finishing the Harry Potter franchise after
like a year.
19 episodes later. Thanks.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Finally done with it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for coming, guys. We just wanted to say we'd finished it, and you can go home now.
Yeah, you can go home. You can unsubscribe or unfollow or whatever.
To all of our 5 listeners.
Yeah. All right, well...
3 of which are blood relatives, I think.
Yeah. This week we're talking about the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And just to inform all of the listeners, the final ranking for the official recently logged ranking of the Harry Potter series will be at the end of the discussion for this movie.
What will they think? What will I think?
So skip to this time.
No. This is a flawed system, Micah.
No, we just gotta guess the time code perfectly.
Okay. If you go to 38.
No.
38 minutes, 37 seconds.
40. 10.
What?
Point 165,000.
Wow. Well, that would certainly be an interesting thing to do, Micah.
Yes. All right. Do we want to get into it though?
I guess you said the title wrong, though, Micah.
No, it's Harry Potter.
It's Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
But I just said the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is not inherently wrong, just shortened.
Wow. All right.
Well, I'm gonna go over the basic facts of the movie.
Wow. I imagine someone who's listening to this episode has no idea of the basic facts of this movie.
Yeah, everybody wants to know.
All right.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 came out in 2011.
Wow.
It's PG-13. It's 130 minutes. It was directed by David Yates, and the screenplay was written by Steve Kloves, based on a novel by J.K. Rowling. It was nominated for 3 Oscars, including Best Achievement in Makeup, Best Achievement in Visual Effects, and Best Achievement in Art Direction. It didn't win any of them.
Yeah, I was about to say,
if I was going to give this anything, it would be cinematography.
Oh, no, I would have given this VFX out of anything. The cinematography wasn't that good.
I really liked it.
It wasn't like Academy Award.
I really liked the cinematography. Besides, what movies came out in 2011? Nothing.
I don't know. I was still in the single digits then, Micah. Age-wise. Which is kind of crazy that the last one came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, actors, I mean, you guys all know the actors. There's, like, Alan Rickman. That's about it.
Wow, that's it? That's all you need?
Yeah,
okay.
Alan Rickman.
All right. So, Micah.
So, Robbie.
What did you think of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Thanks for asking.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. It's still one of my favorites. I'm glad it still was, because I was very concerned after watching Part 1 that it was about to be trash. I think it's really well done. I think it's a really good ending to the series. I think it definitely has some room for improvement. I think the pacing was a little odd, but I feel like you run into that on like every Harry Potter movie. I feel like we go into this and we're like, what was the problem with it? Pacing.
Not Prisoner of Azkaban, Mike.
Not Half-Blood Prince.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think even if it's not the best cinematography ever, I think the cinematography is a real standout for this movie. I think it looks really nice.
I suppose, yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a really good, like, ending of everything. I think everything comes together really nice.
Any other problems with it, Mike? Like,
yeah. Part 1.
Wow, dang. Oof, okay.
I gave it 4.5, by the way.
How to summarize my thoughts on this movie? I don't know. I agree with a lot of what you said. I think it's a fine closing to the franchise. I don't think it's like a perfect ending or anything.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's like a perfect ending.
But
I think it's really well done for like...
I think one of the biggest problems I have with this movie is how, like, I can forgive a lot of I think this is one of the messiest adaptations of the books. Like not obviously not the messiest because Half-Blood Prince exists, but
wow, okay, Half-Blood Prince is like either my favorite.
Okay, the movie works really well despite being a kind of an awful adaptation of the book. But this one, since it's the franchise closer, it leaves so much, like, even splitting the book into two parts, like adapting it into two different movies, it still leaves so much out of the Battle of Hogwarts and like so much out of the ending of the movie.
How would you know? You haven't read Deathly Hallows.
Okay, I'm just assuming here because like a lot of the points, like the plot points in the Battle of Hogwarts feel so like half-baked a lot of the time.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of time to do any of that kind of thing,
and
though.
it just makes watching it a little underwhelming, I think, and that's one of my biggest problems with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think only a couple moments for me actually hit as underwhelming. Like, I get, like, some things being underwhelming. Like, the Battle of Hogwarts, it really isn't focused on too terribly much. Like, it's just kind of happening.
It just kind of happens.
But I don't think that bothers me too much because there are other things going on. Like, the stuff with Snape. And, just the actual... you can't see the quotations, but they're there.
The air quotes.
Important stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the adaptation of it was, like, just how much feels like even though I don't know what they cut out, a lot of it just feels kind of not as well rounded from a screenwriting perspective.
Well, I mean, comparatively to part one, it's still a lot better.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I really liked the lighting of it. The lighting and production design in this one were pretty great. The cinematography, there were quite a few shots that made me go, ooh, I like it.
Ooh, a shot.
Ooh, a shot.
Robbie, Ron, and Hermione kissing, do it for the shot.
Oh my gosh. I was like, wait, why are they kissing? And then they cut to the wide shot. I'm like, oh, that's why.
It makes a really cool shot.
I don't know. They could have just had him standing there, you know?
That'd be lame. That wouldn't be emotional.
Was it supposed to be emotional?
Sure.
I don't know. That's another one of my big kind of problems with this is I outside of the spoiler scenes.
Well, spoilers for the movie.
Okay.
Fine, we'll say it.
Outside of like the Snape, what even is that? What would you call it? Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know.
The flashback?
Yeah, the whole flashback thing. I thought that was like one of the big standout sequences in the entire thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the few like spots where I was like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty good. And I was like, not to say that the rest of it is just mediocre blah, but I don't know. I felt like I was just kind of floating through a lot of this movie without feeling much of it.
I don't know. I actually got strangely emotional, and I don't remember what part. Like, I almost cried, and I think it was at a completely random part in the movie.
Maybe Micah's just going through some things. And watching this movie was like...
No, I seriously... Like, I think it was like... It was like right either at the beginning of like the Battle of Hogwarts or like right like when they were showing everybody dead or something, and I was like, man,
I mean,
I'm strangely emotional for some reason. Look at all the people who are dead.
Look at all the dead people.
I know those people.
Is that what they were going for, Micah? They were like, look at all the dead people. Oh, Micah is showing me an accomplishment. He has been playing the bacon game
and I just
on his phone this entire time.
I was.
And he finally did it.
I got into the 20%.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay.
I'm part of the 20% that got it in there. Okay, anyway.
But yeah, I don't
know. Yeah,
I find it hard to summarize my thoughts on this.
I think really emotional beat wise, the Snape stuff landed the hardest, obviously.
Yeah.
But like I felt like the Battle of Hogwarts for me anyway had a decent amount of weight to it.
I mean, to an extent.
A lot of characters that like I said while we were watching the movie, like are always been there in the background, or even somebody like which one dies, Fred or George?
Oh my gosh.
It's Fred, right?
I thought it was George.
Oh no. I don't know. Even
Fake fan, Micah.
fake fan, you don't even remember.
Well, I'm not. I never claimed to be a fan of Harry Potter.
Wow, okay. But anyway, like just a bunch of people like that you've seen throughout the extent of the movies, and even like have like really enjoyed like if you just think back of all of the movies where it's like wow, I almost combined Hogwarts and shenanigans. Hogwarts shenanigans.
What? Hogwarts and shenanigans.
Like if you think back on all the movies where it's just Hogwarts shenanigans, like you know, you get sad because now a lot of the characters that were part of those shenanigans are dead.
Wow.
Like even Ron's old girlfriend, Wan girl.
Wan.
Where is my Wan?
Oh my gosh.
She died.
Wow.
And, you know, that wasn't emotional at all. In fact, I laughed at that.
Wow. You're a terrible person, Micah.
I'm not a terrible person.
I'm not a terrible person.
It's a movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the emotion was, like, mediocre.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed very underwhelming to me. And I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I'm like, I don't really care.
Wow.
Could I care? Maybe, I don't know. But there were the main highlights of this movie for me were like a couple standout scenes and sequences and such, and a few character moments that I liked. So,
all right. Well,
outside of that
was a very long basic thoughts.
Yes, it was.
What would you have rated this?
Well, if I had to rate this,
Yes.
I probably would have given it a. Can I give it like a 7.5 out of 10?
7.5.
That would be like 3.5 and a half.
No, just give it 4. That would be 4, okay?
I don't know if it gets a 4
Are
from
you
me.
kidding me?
Maybe, okay.
Are you kidding me? How does that not get a 4? Like, that is definitely a 4 or 4.5 movie.
I think, yeah, I'll probably land on an 8. Because I wasn't that into it last night. I have a feeling if it was a viewing where I was into it a little more, I would probably be a 4. So
3.5 and a half.
7.5. What's that? 3.5 and a half.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's move on to questions.
Which is technically 3 3/4 if you think about it.
Nobody was thinking about it.
Wow. All right, are you gonna average it up, Micah?
No, we say that at the end.
Oh, okay. So questions you said?
Yes, questions.
All right. I was gonna start with this since I actually had an answer to it, which I kind of already said earlier.
Wow.
What was your favorite scene or sequence, Micah?
My favorite scene or sequence. Huh.
Huh. Huh. No one's gonna get that.
Nobody's gonna get that.
Okay.
Man, favorite scene or sequence. There were a lot of fun scenes.
What? Fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Like, as much as I like a lot of this, like a lot of like the different things, and as much as I obviously like think that the Snape stuff is really good, I honestly think one of my favorite scenes, as cheesy as it may be, is the Harry Potter dead in his head scene.
Is that cheesy? Do people think that's cheesy?
I don't know. I guess people think that's cheesy.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I like that scene a lot.
Oh, there you go.
That's probably my favorite. But like obviously, I think the Snape flashback scene is really good too.
That was cinema to my eyes.
Were those transitions?
Okay, no, the transitions were pretty rough, but yeah, if I had to pick one, that would probably be it. Was the entire like Snape flash? Yeah. It's not really a flashback,
the tears.
technically speaking.
Okay.
The memory tears.
Okay. So, so I'm watching this movie, and I notice this every other time that I watch this. He goes up to dying Snape. Snape starts crying, and he's like, "My tears, take them, boy."
Take them, boy. I
And
don't think he sounds like
Harry Potter holds up the vial for like 2 seconds. Like one drop visibly goes into this little vial, and then he plugs the hole, and then he goes up, he's in there, and he pours like an actual stream of tear comes out. Like it's like a
waterfall.
yeah, like it's not like just it's not a drop. It's like an actual like that was like a decent amount of liquid, and I'm like, where did he get all this liquid from?
Unrealistic 0 of 10.
Exactly.
Wow. So wait, that was the entire statement?
Yeah.
Where did he get the other tears from?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've always found Snape's death scene, like the actual scene where he dies, kind of underwhelming, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't point to one specific technical element, which is just speaking to my inexperience critiquing films that doesn't work about it. But I don't know. I think something doesn't work about it, and I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
It wasn't even worried about it. Okay. Questions, Micah. Do you have any?
Oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to ask one.
Wow.
What is your favorite Harry Potter moment?
What?
From this, like an expressly
Like
Harry
expressly
Potter,
Harry?
like things that Harry did.
Does he even do anything in this movie besides die?
Questionable.
What does he do in this movie? He just kind of walks around. I don't know. Harry Potter moments.
Yes.
I don't know. What does he do in this movie? Like, what's the plot of this movie? Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, you start, Micah, so I can piggyback off of your success.
Wow, okay. Who said I had an answer for this question?
Why'd you ask the question if you didn't have an answer?
I think one of my favorite Harry Potter moments from this.
Wow, we're really killing it on this. We were going so well, and then we hit this question, and now it's just dead silent.
No, sorry, I yawned, okay?
That was a stretch, Micah.
I'm tired. Okay, my favorite Harry Potter moment from this was probably Harry Potter, either like final dueliness, though honestly, and I know it probably wasn't book like accurate if he would have, but I really wanted like Harry to like say something, like be like, "Oh, Tom, you fool."
Oh, Tom, you fool. Okay, side note before you continue your thought, the "Let's die together" line was super dope when it happened.
Let's do it together.
And then it looks like Mission Impossible up in this joint, Mike.
It really did. It looked pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment.
That was just a side note.
But yeah, I really I don't know, I really wanted in the final duel for him to actually like say something.
You wanted him to say some epic one-liner,
like, be
Micah?
like, "Oh, Tom, you spent your entire life trying to prevent this, but at the end, blah, blah, blah." I don't know. Just something. Like, it needed something to where he wasn't just, like, sweating, standing there.
There are so many moments in this movie that I feel like just need something, and I'm not sure what it is.
But I think a really cool Harry Potter moment, if I had to point to one of those, was when Snape's like, "If anybody has any information about Potter and his whereabouts, you'll be punished severely." And then he's like, "Come forward now." And then Harry pops out.
And that's it?
I don't know, I thought that was a pretty cool moment. He's like, "How could you?
How dare you stand where he stood?
How dare you stand where he stood? He trusted you. Why don't you tell them all how it went down that night?"
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I always thought that was a cool moment.
I mean, it is a cool moment.
What about you?
I don't know. Like, honestly,
Is that it? Is the let's do it together?
yeah, that is honestly the one moment. That's a testament to how cool this moment was in my mind. It probably isn't even that cool.
Like, how does the line actually go?
I don't
It's
even
like,
remember.
let's do it. It was something about how it started. Like, let's finish where we started
Yeah,
together,
something
or
like that.
something like that.
I don't know. It seemed cool at the
It was
time.
very cool.
It was very cool. Like, it's like, it was very cool. Believe me.
Then while they're apparating around, just side note to this moment, I always thought it was cool how they did like the whole visual bending thing and combined Voldemort and Harry's face.
I don't know. I didn't think that was cool.
Wow.
I was actually gonna point that out as one of the like kind of cringe moments, Micah.
I always thought it looked cool.
I always thought it looked cool. All right. Well, moving on. What
What?
do you think of this in relation to the first part?
It's a lot better, but honestly, it makes me wonder why it was split into two parts.
Yeah.
Because,
Right?
like, it feels like they hardly do anything in this one.
I don't know. Like, it's so weird.
But yet, the last one, like we mentioned in our last episode, it feels like they were just doing everything but nothing. like they spent the entire movie doing something to lead to nothing. And then in this movie, it feels like they do nothing to lead to something.
Wow.
So, I don't know. Like, it's very odd, because the first one, as we talked about, just really isn't that enjoyable to watch at all. But I think this one actually is. Like, I really enjoy watching this one.
As much as I probably won't watch this again unless I'm watching the whole franchise, just because I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a good reason to watch this one unless you're watching the rest of the franchise. It's definitely a franchise ender. It's not like, oh, let's turn it on. I think you miss that, like, once you hit the Deathly Hallows. I don't think anybody's just gonna watch the Deathly Hallows, especially part 1.
Well, maybe if you're a mega fan of the series, Micah. Maybe if you're a Potterhead.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe if you have a profile on Pottersmore or whatever it's called.
I do have a profile on Pottersmore.
Is that what it's called?
And I owned a wand. And I have a scarf.
Oh, right. You actually have a wand. What?
It's Cedric's wand.
No, it's not, Micah.
Yes, it is.
It's a marketable toy.
Oh my gosh, it's not a toy, it's a collector's item, as it says.
Wow.
It says this item is not a toy, it's a collector's item.
I just always think of the, oh no, don't turn me into a marketable plush memes.
But anyway, like I said, I don't think these movies are really as comparable.
You don't think they
to
have
the
as
rest
much
of the
merit
series.
outside
I
of the
think-
franchise?
Yeah, I don't know, because like I really, really like this movie in the context of the franchise, but out of the context of the franchise.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of a mediocrely directed and paced. Like, everything about this is just kind of good enough to get by, but not outstanding. Which is why I was tempted to give it a 7 instead of an 8. Because, like, yeah, sure, it's pretty good, like, in some respects, and it caps off the franchise pretty well. Not flawlessly, in my opinion, but I don't know. I wish I liked this movie more than I do.
I don't know.
It makes me sad.
I really like it. One thing that always bothered me about the movie, and I was actually going to ask if this bothered you much,
Okay.
the amount of things that go unexplained.
Yeah, which is kind of what I was trying to hint at with my adaptation thing. Even though I haven't read the book, it just kind of seems like it was poorly adapted.
But one thing that kills me about it is part 1. Like, part 1 exists, and you'd think it would be to explain this stuff. But there's, like just so much in this movie, and I know a lot of, like, what's happening because I've watched, like, videos and stuff about, about reviewing and talking about and different theories and stuff, so it explains what this stuff actually is in book. So I know what some of this stuff is supposed to be, but there's like no explanation, and it's just thing after thing, especially towards the beginning of this movie, because they're really rushing to get to Hogwarts at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. The entire movie seems kind of rushed.
Yeah, it's very odd. Like that's one thing. Like, as much as I enjoy it, it's very odd comparatively, especially being that there is a part 1. Part 1 in this feel extremely disconnected.
Oh, yes.
Like, they don't feel like they actually would go together at all. Like, I don't know. When
Watching them back to back would be odd, I think.
Yeah, when you watch, like, a part 1 and a part 2, you imagine, like, oh, yeah, you could watch these back to back, and it would be, like, a very long movie, practically.
They're so tonally different.
They're
a lot of the
they're
time.
very tonally different, and like just none of the major plot points matter. Like the Horcruxes obviously matter, but like we said in our part 1 video, they find and destroy like one Horcrux in the course of the entire movie. So like it's pretty much the quest for one Horcrux in part 1, and then in part 2 they have to speed take out 3
speed run,
no 4.
They have to do a speed run.
Yeah, they have to speed run and take out 4, right? Harry, Nagini, Ravenclaw thing.
Oh yeah,
and,
the tiara thing.
And
what is it?
Chalice thing.
Oh yeah, and the chalice. Yes.
Yeah, so they have to speed run 4 Horcruxes after a movie where they did nothing except for get one.
And you know another thing, Micah. Mentioning the Horcruxes made me think of how kind of underwhelming the Gringotts heist was.
You know, like, I like the Gringotts heist, but it's definitely nowhere near as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Like, they don't try to capture the essence of, like, oh, it's a heist at all.
Do you want it to just turn into a heist movie?
Yeah, I want to feel Ocean's 11 coursing through my veins when I watch anything heist related.
Isn't Ocean's 11 really more of a like a hold up movie than a heist?
They pull a heist.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah.
I don't know.
That's a discussion for another day.
Anyway, yeah, like it was very, how to put it, slow, and like it seemed painfully easy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there are a lot of elements in this movie that I feel like should work. Like in concept, I'm like, yeah, that should work. And then when I'm watching it, I'm just like, this is kind of boring.
I don't think I was ever bored during.
I got bored quite a few times during this,
which is why I would say it's like miles beyond the first part, because I was bored for pretty much all of the first part. But it just felt like so many things were just off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I still really like I still gave it 4.5 because I don't think the things being just off bothered me that much.
Oh, okay. See, that's why I was like once again tempted to give it 7, because a lot of things just don't work for me watching it.
I don't know. A lot of it worked, even if it's not like perfect. A lot of it, like, obviously I still enjoy the bank heist and everything, and I think I actually think one of the only points in the whole movie where I get bored is when they get the Horcrux from the bank, though. Like, and the traps go off, and I'm like, who cares? Why are there stakes here?
Wow.
Like, who cares? Like, who cares?
Wow.
Like, I don't know. So, like, you know, they break in, and then, like, the curse goes off, and it's multiplying everything and duplicating everything, and they're drowning in cups or whatever, and...
I don't think it's called drowning, Mike.
And then what's his face is like, give me the sword for the goblet. And then they give him the sword, and he's like, rah, 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 rah. And then he leaves, and I'm like, who cares?
Wow. I thought that was fine.
He goes and dies off screen 2 seconds later.
I don't know. I didn't mind that.
Like, I don't know. It was the only point in the movie where I was just like, meh.
See, I just felt kind of meh throughout this whole thing, which is why I was like, I don't know why the scenes that were supposed to hit me hard didn't hit me hard. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, a lot of the emotion was still there for me.
I don't know.
Like, even if some of it was a little, like, I think the most underwhelming emotional point was Snape himself actually dying. But other than that, I don't know. I got a lot of emotion from this movie.
Well, there you go. Maybe I'm just a heartless man.
Maybe you are. The Heartless Man, directed by Orson Welles or something.
Directed by David Lynch.
Directed by David Lynch. I would have... Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared.
Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. Wow.
Do you have any questions? Was that your question that we were answering? I don't even remember
What
what's
was
the
the
question
question?
anymore.
What were we even talking about?
Um,
um, I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
what do you think of the Deathly Hallows? Like the Deathly Hallows.
like the actual like objects
Yes,
or
the Deathly
okay.
Hallows.
Um, I don't know. They serve their purpose as plot devices
I don't know. I think they're really poorly used
in the movie.
overall in the series.
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Like I feel like
It's not a great use of them, but
because like
it's fine.
there's almost no explanation for a lot of it. Like why did Dumbledore have the Elder Wand?
Ugh.
Uh, who like and why did he just why was the Resurrection Stone just in the snitch?
I guess the Fantastic Beasts will have to explain that, Micah.
I hope not. And I don't know. Like overall, I don't think I would trouble this movie too much with it because I don't think it mattered too much in this movie. Like they just needed to be there.
Yeah.
And but overall, like for the entire series, I felt like the Deathly Hollows were very underwhelming, especially being that you don't even hear about them until Deathly Hollows Part 1.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Odd, to say the least. But I don't know. I don't have too much to say about it.
Yeah, I think that's about most of my thoughts about the movie. Like I can recognize that there were some odd things about this movie, but I don't really think there were any major problems
Yeah,
with the
that's the
movie.
thing. A lot of the quote unquote problems I have with this are just odd artistic choices that I don't think work as well as they
Yeah,
could.
I don't think there are any like, oh, this was obvious major problem.
This is a bad thing about this movie.
Yeah, this you should have seen this. You
Honestly,
should have seen this coming.
honestly, I think just the pacing is the really big thing, and it's
See,
not even that big of a
yeah,
problem.
and that's what I was saying. Like, especially comparatively to part one, I hardly noticed the pacing being just kind of meh, because I don't think it was like, oh, horrible pacing. I just think it was kind of like, the pacing was meh. And which is how I feel like about most of the problems with this movie. I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh
it's
yeah,
just
they're just kind of like meh problems.
yeah, like a lot of the things in this feel just above mediocre, which is why I still am tempted. You know what? You know what, Micah?
Don't do
The
it.
more I talk about it, I want to lower my rating. A 7 out of 10. 3.5. 3.5.
Can't change ratings like that.
Wait. That's the first one I said was 3.5. Why can't I change ratings?
Because I already have it written
Oh
down.
my god.
I already have it written down on the ranking.
Wow. That was some nice dead silence there, Micah.
I thought it was.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I've said all I had to say about it, really. Unless you want to add anything, Micah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it deserves a 3.5. I could say that.
Wow.
I think it deserves a little bit more. Because like I just don't think any of the problems are big enough. I think all of the emotional moments still hit pretty well for me. I think it's a really good ending. Honestly, I enjoy it more than something like Endgame if we're talking like franchise ending kind of things. Even though apparently the franchise isn't over for some reason.
Nope.
Um,
I was about to say neither one of those franchises is over, Micah.
like I don't know, like for like an era ending kind of thing, I think it was a very good movie and it did as much as it could with what it did, you know? Like as much as there could have been changes obviously, I feel like it did like what it needed to do to finish the series. And I don't know, I think it's like not perfect but really well done.
I would tend to disagree. But I don't know. What do I know? You know? It's... like I said, on a good day, this is probably like an 8, but on a bad day, like, well, last night wasn't a bad day, but I don't know. I didn't enjoy it very much, which is odd. But anyway, do you have anything else to add? I've gone over most of the
No, I think
complaints
that was about it. I think that was really my closing thoughts for it.
All right. For me, I don't not like this movie, but I don't especially love it. For a lot of reasons previously listed. But it's fine. David Yates is hit or miss a lot of the time with his movies, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't have too much to say about this movie.
All right, well, now that I have to rework my already written down rankings.
I'm sorry, Micah. I just don't. I can't feel at peace with myself giving that an 8 out of 10. I don't think it deserves an 8 out of 10. But who knows? Who am I to say what it deserves?
All right, the entire franchise ranked.
Oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
Yes. All right.
All right.
And we're gonna go around and we're gonna see how this goes.
Hey, my time code was closer.
So at the very end,
the worst
the
movie.
worst of the worst of the Harry Potter franchise.
Are we doing tiers? Do any of them have the same number rating?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the worst of
Lowest
the worst
tier.
of the Harry Potter franchise, according to us.
According to Recently Logged.
Is Goblet of Fire with an overall score of 5.5
out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that's not even a bad movie. like
it's just like slightly over half.
Yeah, it's just slightly over the halfway point, which I think is still pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would say that that works with Goblet too.
Yeah,
because I don't think Goblet is like some
it's
horrible
not actively
movie.
It's not actively an awful movie, but
it's not great.
It's not
still.
great. Yeah.
Then next is at 6, so we're only moving up 0.5 here. Is Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets,
which
it's fine.
It's fine. I'm not a big fan. I probably won't watch it again for a long time. Then a whole 1 point up. We have Deathly Hallows Part 1 with a 7.
Which, once again, that's a 7 out of 10. That's not bad at all.
And I mean, these are overall scores, so
yeah.
And then we have 2 7.5s. We have Order of the Phoenix and The Philosopher's Stone.
Some solid flicks, not gonna lie.
Phoenix, Philosopher.
Philosopher. I was about to say 2 F's, but they're both PHs.
Yeah, they're both PHs. I think this is really where like these two movies are like the first point where you get like the series is getting good.
Yeah, no,
even though one of them is at the beginning and one of them is midway through.
Yeah, I think both of those are pretty solid. Like the ones before, like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and below, I would probably just not watch ever again.
These are hitting movies that I'd turn on.
There's a probability that I would watch Philosopher's Stone again.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't really.
Phoenix.
I'm not a huge fan of Philosopher's Stone, so I probably would turn on Order of the Phoenix before Philosopher's Stone.
Wow.
Then at an 8, as you just heard, we have Deathly Hallows, a Part 2.
A Part 2.
Which, is fair enough. It's like a little better than I would say like those two movies, but not like
it's not a masterpiece.
Not better than these next two. All right, then tied at the top, which I'm very happy about. I'm so glad this one didn't win at all. We have an 8.5, Prisoner of Azkaban,
Heck yes,
and Half-Blood Prince.
Okay, I think you mean Half-Blood Prince in Prisoner of Azkaban.
No, Half-Blood Prince, in my opinion, is my favorite movie from the Harry Potter series.
Good thing it's your opinion that it's your favorite.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Azkaban, I'm still not a fan of, and I probably won't watch.
I don't know what your deal is with Azkaban. Why won't you admit that it's so good, Micah?
It's well directed, if not a little too self-important in its direction.
The cinematography is so good.
It's not like, I don't know.
The pacing is
We talked about this in our Azkaban video. I think the cinematography itself takes itself way too seriously.
What?
Like, I don't know.
Dude, it's
like,
so good.
Like, all of it's like, oh, moving through glass and existentially standing
What
on
does
top
he
of a
do?
clock tower, and the whole scene was in a mirror. Like, all of the stuff that everybody goes on and on about, I think is really underwhelming in movie. I don't think it adds much to the movie at all.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's like, this is the masterpiece of the Harry Potter series.
It gives the whole movie such a magical and more natural feeling than the movies.
Are you kidding? It doesn't give me a magical feel. I said it while we were watching. Like, while we did that, I think that is the least magical feeling movie of the entire Harry Potter series. I said that during our Azkaban episode.
We need to get off of Prisoner of Azkaban. Because we fundamentally disagree about the quality of Prisoner of Azkaban.
It's fine at best.
I think Half-Blood Prince is a weaker film overall than Prisoner of Azkaban.
I disagree.
On a script level and on a bunch of other levels.
I disagree.
Especially on an adaptation level. Because Half-Blood Prince as an adaptation is laughable, Micah.
Yes, but it's a really good movie.
Evidently, I mean, we gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Anyway.
Even
though Azkaban should not be up that high.
How do you think we did, Micah?
I think we did
covering the franchise. I don't think it's our best dissection of anything.
I think we had some really good episodes.
We had some good episodes. We had some bad episodes.
I think it was a lot of fun going over a series and being able to look at how we overall ranked them.
Yeah, that was cool.
I think that's one of my favorite parts about this, like having a recently logged ranking, I mean.
Wow, stretch there. We're done. It's a weight off my shoulders.
I definitely would like to do this with another series, and I don't know if you would.
Yeah, no, I would do this with something else, like something I cared a little more about, probably.
Because it's nice to have like not be like every week. Oh, what the heck are we going to do?
Oh, what the heck are we going to do?
But then it's also nice to just be able to go through a series and compare, because like as much as I don't think every movie needs to be like a big series or anything, I do think it's very nice, and a lot of it I was thinking about this the other day with a lot of people getting like tired of Marvel being a connected universe the way it is, and yeah, it's a little overdone. But I think overall it's just a very cool use of movies when they all connect or tell love stuttering, a story together.
Micah's gonna make a petition for every single movie in the entire history of existence to be connected because it's a cool thing to do.
I think it's a very fun and interesting way to tell a story if it works well for your movies.
Well, there you go. Well, now I never have to speak another word about Harry Potter. Please don't make me. I don't like the franchise that much.
No, we gotta do Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, please no.
In case you want to watch those again.
Yikes. I don't think I'll ever want to.
Are we going to try to keep it under an hour with our speed run through the last
I think we are. Diary? So if you don't care anything about our opinions on anything other than Harry Potter, you can click away now.
Leave now. We're about to talk about what we watched.
We got what we watched this past 2 weeks.
Boy, did we watch a lot.
Okay, so as a bit of context, we have an HBO Max subscription, but we're not paying for it. We're on the 30-day free trial.
And our 30-day free trial is almost up.
And it's coming to a close, so we're just like watching movies all the time.
Yeah, so...
Which I'm not complaining on.
Yeah, no. We've watched a lot of movies that we hadn't seen before, and I've really enjoyed some of them, and I really haven't enjoyed others, so, you know... All right.
Where are we starting?
I think the 10th was our cutoff. So everything.
Oh, yeah. I watched Stunt Double right before we recorded.
Yeah, everything past the 10th is where we're going. So I think the 12th is our first thing.
Wait, we do, but I watched these after we recorded, Micah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. First thing we watched
Eyes Without a Face.
1960.
Which was fine.
Horror classic.
I gave it 3.5. It was kind of underwhelming, but it was still well made.
If I had to rate it, I would probably give it a 4 out of 5. But I can see a lot of the influence that this would have on like modern horror. a lot of iconic things came out of this, I believe. Not to mention the final shot was like 10 of 10. I love it.
I don't know about that.
I love it.
Anyway, we also watched Ocean Waves,
Studio Ghibli.
arguably the worst Ghibli movie we've watched so far.
I don't think you'd have to argue
I had high hopes for it. I had high hopes for it because, I'm a teenager, and who doesn't like teenage love stories?
Micah's like, haha, I'm a teenager.
But then it was trash.
Wow. Yeah.
It wasn't like actually a horrible movie.
No, it wasn't bad.
I give it 3 stars, but it was definitely the worst of the Ghibli movies
I'd give it probably either a 2 or a 2.5. It was not good. Very mediocre.
Then after that, to bounce back off of a very mediocre watch, we watched Mission Impossible Fallout.
Who would have thought?
Did somebody say best action movie?
Just ever?
Ever?
I would have to disagree there.
What's a better action movie?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wrong. That's an adventure movie.
What?
Anyway.
If you're counting it as okay, then it's the best adventure movie.
All right. Wrong, but still. I give it 4.5. I think this is just like nonstop every time I've watched this, which I've watched it a lot at this point because I don't know, sometimes you just get in the mood to watch an action movie, and this one is just great.
Wow.
I don't know, just so much about this is just like cinema,
It really is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't rate it. It would be like if I could go between a 4.5 and a 5.
Yeah, I gave it.
It would be right there.
I gave it a 4.5. It's not quite 5, but it's so close.
Yeah, we need to do the Mission Impossible series at some point.
Yeah.
And then I watched.
Then on the 13th.
The 13th. I actually watched 2 comedy specials.
I watched a movie without you, though.
I watched a lot of comedy specials over that span.
I watched 2 movies without you.
All right. What are they, Micah?
On the 13th, technically on the 12th, but it was 3 in the morning by then, so it doesn't really count. We watched Contagion.
Wow.
Steven Soderbergh, you weren't there.
Steven Soderbergh?
Yeah, it's a Soderbergh movie.
What?
Yeah.
Why wasn't I told?
You didn't know that? That's why we wanted to watch it.
Shoot, dog! You watched a Steven Soderbergh movie without me.
Yes, we did. We watched Contagion, and it was fine. It wasn't great. It felt like one big montage.
Keep it going, Michael. Speed round here.
It wasn't very good,
right.
but it was fine. 3 stars. Then I watched Rango with a friend over Zoom.
Rango,
not Zoom.
dude.
You can't do movies over Zoom. That's illegal.
Don't
do that.
Wait, that's illegal.
We did Prime sharing.
Sharing?
Yeah, because you can't. You're not allowed to just publicly stream movies.
I know.
I gave it 4 stars. Very fun. Very good. Johnny Depp.
Favorite Gore Verbinski movie?
No.
Aw.
There are better Gore Verbinski movies.
Yeah, Black Pearl's better.
Then what did we watch on the 14th?
We watched, for the first time, The Man Who Knew Too Much, the 1934 one with Peter Lorre.
And it was fine. 3.5.
Yeah, it was fine. It was pretty good.
It wasn't great.
Not my favorite. Although, not my favorite Hitchcock movie, but I was watching. We watched it almost on Hitchcock's birthday.
Yeah.
And I had my Hitchcock letterbox shirt on.
Unfortunately, it was not my favorite Peter Lorre movie.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for more from Peter Lorre's character.
You want some more quality Peter Lorre performances?
Peter Lorre is like my favorite actor from that era.
From the 30s. He is really good. I like him.
Then on the 14th, baby.
No. It was 3 in the morning.
Yeah, okay. So when you're sitting there at 2 o'clock and you're like, we could go to bed. Or we could turn on Madagascar.
I had never seen it before.
You turn on Madagascar.
Okay, guys, this was my first time ever watching Madagascar.
I don't know how that's a thing.
It is so iconic from my child, from my era as a child.
I don't know how you never watched it. And I never
watched it. And everyone was like, dude, have you not seen Madagascar? I'm like, I don't know.
How had all of
I've
your
seen
family
the third one.
seen
I've
it?
seen the third Madagascar movie 7 times, but I've never seen this one.
Anyway, to keep the ball rolling, I really enjoy it. But it's not perfect.
I didn't expect it to be
3.5. It's funny.
The big standout thing are the character dynamics. There's a reason they're still around.
Yeah, there's a reason. The best thing about there's a reason that the third movie is not trash.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Then I watched.
What did you watch?
She's the Man.
She's the Man. Oh wait, I caught part of this movie.
A real classic.
Oh no.
Not really though.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes! This was like all of those 90s and early 2000s rom-coms, but not as good.
It was weird, bro.
And it had Channing Tatum in it.
Channing Tatum. What was Channing Tatum doing?
So
what is Channing Tatum doing at any point?
It was 3 stars because it wasn't like an awful movie, but it wasn't very good.
Wow.
Then what did we watch?
We watched my least favorite Tim Burton movie as of now. Well, no, Alice in Wonderland's my least favorite. My second least favorite Tim Burton movie as of now, Mars Attacks from 1996.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. 2 stars, but we have to move on.
That thing gave me a migraine. Oh my gosh.
It didn't give me a migraine, but it wasn't very good.
Wow. Yeah.
What would you have rated it?
Probably like a 1.5.
Dang. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Why can't we all just get along line? That scene is solid. Okay. What did we watch after that, Micah?
The Secret World of Arrietty. Arrietty.
From 2010.
I really didn't like the story. I thought it was kind of stupid. I actually wrote an entire paragraph about why I thought the story was kind of stupid.
Yeah, we're all writing Letterboxd reviews for these now. You can just follow us on Letterboxd and see.
No, it wasn't on Letterboxd that I wrote the actual full one of my friends really likes this movie.
Oh my God.
And she was like, "Oh, why didn't you like it?" And then I spent like 30 minutes writing you know how Instagram,
you wrote a hate-fueled...
You know how Instagram has a character limit? Text.
I did not know
I hit that.
Nobody ever messages me.
And went a little bit further.
Nobody ever messages me.
But yeah, it's still not like an awful movie. I just have a lot of problems with the way it was written.
Yeah, there's quite a few problems with it, but I like it.
But 3 stars.
I would have given it probably a 3.5 or a 4, somewhere in there.
Then we watched The Death of Cinema.
What? Did we? Oh,
did you watch something in between?
Yes,
there?
we.
Okay.
You kind of. I think you half watched this over I don't know.
I was playing Borderlands.
I watched Brief Encounter, which I believe is a Best Picture winner. Maybe I don't remember. It from 1945. It was really good. Surprisingly, it was. I feel like this had for some reason like a big influence on anima, but I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't know.
From what I remember of it, I honestly forgot about it. I wasn't a huge fan.
The performances were top tier, though. Like, for real. There was a bunch of nuance in it. Like, some of the best I've seen in a quote-unquote old movie.
I don't know. Maybe I just didn't like the story of what I saw, but I was playing a game.
All right.
Then we watched
The Death of Cinema.
We watched Drop Dead Fred, which, gosh, I hated that a lot.
I don't know.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't a good story.
If this is your thing, more power to you, but this is the kind of movie that makes me embarrassed to like movies.
Right? This is the kind of movie that I watch and I'm like, oh my gosh, why do I like movies? But don't worry, I gave that 2 stars, but don't worry about us like The Death of Cinema, because the next movie we watched was The Revelation.
The rebirth of cinema.
The rebirth. Revelation was the wrong word I was going for there.
Yeah, like Revelation.
Revolution, I think.
Revolution,
is the word I was going
yes,
for.
maybe. And by the way, have these all been rewatches except for Fallout?
I was going to...
Or not been rewatches, I mean?
I was going to combine Revive with Revolution, and it came out, and it came out as Revelation. That's what happened.
Wow.
I think no, well, for me it was a rewatch on Fallout, Rango, Madagascar.
Oh yeah.
But that's it.
Wow, yeah, we've had a lot of first watches, and we're only like halfway through. Okay.
Next, we watched The Birth of Cinema, Train to Busan.
Train to Busan.
Very, very good.
It's so good.
I want to watch it again because maybe I'll rate it higher.
Okay, this movie is the closest I think I've gotten to crying outside of like actually crying at a movie, which First Man still holds the only movie that's made me cry.
Why. But I gave it 4.5. Very, very good.
Oh, yes, it's so good.
Did not expect it to be that good, honestly.
Go watch Train to Busan.
Like, I had heard from a couple people, good. Oh yeah, it's good. Go watch it. And I was
it's my favorite zombie movie.
And it was, but no offense to these people, they weren't people that I held their movie opinions in the highest of light.
Dang.
Like no, like they're people that I really respect, but not inherently their movie opinions.
All right, what do we watch after that?
An American Pickle.
American Pickle.
Seth Rogen,
HBO
2020
Max.
release.
We should do an episode on this one.
One of the best 2020 releases.
Heck yes.
Which is something to say.
When a Seth Rogen movie is one of the best releases of the year, there might be a problem.
Yeah. Pickles.
Yeah. Pickles.
4 stars, which may be a little generous.
I think 3.5. Yeah.
3.5. But I really, really was just in a good mood for pickles, so 4 stars.
All right.
It's funny. It was my favorite Seth Rogen role ever. Not like Seth Rogen, but like pickle Seth Rogen.
All right. What did we watch after that?
The
Micah?
Raven.
The Raven.
Very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Not very good.
It's kind of sad that this movie has like a cool premise. Like, I would actually be super into this premise, but it has a super duper underwhelming screenplay. Like,
the premise is really cool.
Weak sauce.
I feel like you could do
screenplay.
such a cool movie off of this premise.
But yeah, not very good. I wouldn't bother.
I give it 3 stars, but no like, because it wasn't horrible.
Oh my gosh, I watched a movie without you, Micah.
I watched 3 movies.
Do yours first.
4 movies without you.
Do yours first, and then I'll do mine.
I watched Princess Mononoke, which was very good. I gave it 4.5. I think like this is definitely one of my favorite of the Ghibli movies. It was still pretty funny though when like because usually Ghibli movies don't have much gore, and then in this one you just have what's his face just shooting people's heads off.
Well, usually the stories they tell don't need gore.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just very funny to me. Every time somebody got like a limb shot off or a head shot off, I was like, wow.
Is it the Deadpool of Ghibli movies?
Yes, but like it's very serious in its story.
Wow.
Then I watched The Wind Rises, another Ghibli movie. This one was very odd. Probably like one of the most abstract Ghibli movies
Is it the
I've
most
watched.
experimental film you've ever seen, Micah?
No, but it was probably like the most experimental Ghibli film I've ever seen. It was really good, kind of sad. 4 stars. Then after that, I rewatched Tangled.
Whoa!
Tangled is
We
fun.
stan.
Tangled is fun.
We stand.
It's got a lot of problems.
It does.
I hate to say it.
It is plagued by many, many problems, but
like, it's such a fun movie.
It's such an endearing film.
The characters are great, and like the songs are pretty good too. But like, there's just so many problems. 3 stars though.
But that's another day.
Yeah, another day. Maybe we'll do it on the podcast sometime.
Get Haley back on here.
Yeah. Then I watched The Cave.
The Cave.
Which we watched this at
The
like
Cave.
3 in the morning again. It was pretty trash.
Pretty trash. Well, it was pretty trash.
It was trash. But it wasn't like awful trash, so I gave it 2 stars.
It was shiny trash.
It was shiny trash.
Okay. And then, while you were gone watching all of those, I watched one movie.
I watched one movie.
Well, some of us have jobs that we have to deal with.
Well,
Micah.
usually I do have stuff I have to do, but we kind of planned to get together and watch movies.
All right.
So...
okay, guys, I watched for the very first time Speed Racer.
Go Speed Racer.
The 2008 live-action one, and it is so diggity dang good, and I love it so much. It literally, it's so good.
We better hurry up because we're going to
try. Micah, you need to watch this movie.
We're trying to make our under an hour.
Guys, force Micah to watch this movie.
We're trying to get under an hour.
All right, what did we watch next?
Then we watched the Speed Cubers documentary on Netflix, 2020, but it wasn't feature length, so it didn't make the ranked. But it was very good. But I didn't rate it because it was like a documentary that wasn't feature length.
Wow. For reference, we are Speed Cubers, or at least we used to be in a past life.
Formerly Speed Cubers,
yeah.
Maybe picking it back up. Who knows? We've been solving a lot lately.
Who knows?
Then we watched The Dark Knight Rises.
We watched Miniverse too.
Okay, no, that's not feature length. I'm not even mentioning it.
Dark Knight Rises. It was fine.
It's fine. It's not great. 3.5.
Oh, then we watched The Lost World on VHS.
No, then I watched The Invisible, which was trash. Just real trash. Just like trash.
Wow.
Which I gave 1 star. Then we watched The Lost World on VHS, which was a very cool experience. Unfortunately, it's a pretty boring movie.
It's a very boring movie. Sorry.
I give it 3 stars.
I would probably give it about 3.5, somewhere in there.
Then I watched The Martian, 4.5 stars. Very good.
Hey, I caught the last 15 minutes
Ridley
of that or
freaking
something.
Scott, my friend. Yeah, it's a fun thing. Been meaning to read the book, actually.
Wow.
Then, early the next morning, I watched Another Earth. Really kind of didn't like it at all, but it wasn't, like, awfully made, so 2.5.
All right.
Then what did we watch?
Castle in the Sky.
Very good, very good.
Another pre-2000s Ghibli movie we haven't seen, and you know what? It was really good.
I gave it 4.5. I thought it was very well done. One of my favorites of the Ghibli movies.
There you go.
Then what did we watch? We watched Boys
State, yeah.
It's the A24 2020 documentary that was very, very good. Probably the most interesting documentary I've ever watched, and it was really uniquely shot.
The documentary that proves that men were a mistake.
I mean, Renee, though.
Okay, that's true. You make a good argument.
Renee was pretty great, okay?
Yeah, go watch it if you haven't, seen it yet.
Unfortunately, it's only on Apple TV Plus.
Okay, start your free trial of Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, do a free trial. Watch it. It's very good.
Indeed.
Then what did we watch?
We watched some cinema.
We did watch some cinema.
Oh my gosh.
What was that cinema called?
Okay, we watched one of our, I think our third rated R movie in our entire lives.
I think it was my fourth, but I don't know.
Oh, wow. Okay. There Will Be Blood. What are you watching, Mike?
It's technically Train to Busan.
Oh, that's TV mature. It's not rated R.
That depends where you go.
Okay, well, There Will Be Blood, the 2007 Paul Thomas Anderson movie. This was the first Paul Thomas Anderson thing I'd watched outside of Anima. And I really, really loved it.
It was very well done.
It's so good. So good.
The story was odd. I think the story just being the way the story was, I don't think the story was badly written. I just think it was odd. I wasn't a huge fan of it, which is the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars.
Wait, did you say the story wasn't well written?
I said I think the story was well written.
Oh, okay. I was like, the screenplay is so good.
I think the story was well written. I just don't think it was the story was 100% my cup of tea. I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was really cool to watch and everything, but it wasn't quite there, so I only gave it 4.5.
Wow. I if I would have rated this, I probably would have given it 5. It's really good.
It's really
good.
Oof,
you guys need to watch this. You guys need to watch it.
The lighting. The characters. And then to kill our good run of cinema.
Oh my.
We watched
This is controversial, Micah.
The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, which was absolute trash, by the way.
Part 1 wasn't awful.
Part 1 was horrible.
I probably would have given it a 3.
I gave it 2 stars. It was awful. If you could call what was in this movie dialogue, it was the worst dialogue I have ever heard in my life in a movie. Literally, there's bad acting in dialogue and everything in a movie, and I'm like, oh, that's awful. Why is this a thing? But this wasn't even bad acting. It was just straight up bad dialogue.
Keep it moving.
This was trash. Why do people like these things?
I don't know.
The second one was even worse.
Okay, the second one is literally a drug trip. What the heck happened? Not in a good way.
It's you could just say whatever you thought could stupidly happen and it would happen. It was horrible, and Robin, who's 11-year-old, completely murdered somebody and crushed their head entirely. The only entire good part of this entire thing was the Joker thing, but he was in there for 10 minutes, so it's not like he was a major part of the story.
Yeah, I don't get this duality.
It was trash.
I don't know. It doesn't.
I gave the first one 2, and I gave the second one 1.5.
The second one's worse, and I would probably give the first one a 3. So do with that what you will.
Then we watched Whisper of the Heart.
Heck yeah!
Which I was. It
was pretty good.
I really liked it.
I've yet to come across, other than Ocean Waves, a Ghibli movie that I don't like. So
yeah, this wasn't peak Ghibli by any means, but I think it was definitely good. I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, pretty good.
Oh yeah, this top review, I definitely agree. It was imagine my surprise when the lo-fi hip-hop radio chill beats to relax / study 2 girls showed up, because there is literally a moment in this movie that looks exactly like that shot. I'm sure that's what they were going for.
Yeah, I guarantee that's what they had as a reference.
But I was like, whoa.
Micah, did we watch The Death of Cinema after that?
Yes.
Okay.
We watched Beverly Hills Chihuahuas.
Okay. This was my idea. I've been wanting to watch this series because it has intrigued me so much.
It was so bad.
Since watching the really crappy preview things on old Disney DVDs for it, I was like, what the heck is this?
I remember when this movie came out. I do. I remember the hype around this movie coming out.
The hype, Micah?
Yes. It was trash. I gave it half
Dude,
star.
The cinematography was so good, though.
I gave it a half star, which isn't 100% accurate. You see, I don't usually give out half stars. That's more of like a joke rating, but also like it's 4 things that I think are bad, but I don't think anything hits half star. That's just like half star is like my protest against this thing rating.
Like, this should not exist. Please destroy.
Yeah, like it's not like awful, like it's not a half star movie, but I hated it enough to give it a half star.
Wow. We can mention this, I guess, the next thing we watched.
Can a computer write a hit musical? It was feature length, so...
Yeah, it was fine. It's very bare bones in terms of documentary.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of documentary filmmaking, but it was a really interesting story to watch. Supposedly the musical that came out was... fine, yeah. Like, fine to bad is what the critics say. So,
what else did we watch, Micah?
I gave that a 3-star, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Then we watched The Cat Returns, the most wild freaking Ghibli movie I've ever seen.
It's a wild time to be alive, honestly.
It wasn't bad by any means.
It's the most, I think, of all of the Ghibli movies I've seen, this is the most American Ghibli movie I've ever seen.
It was so whack.
This is an American plotline, is what it is.
It was a different art style from normal Ghibli.
Yeah, the animation style looked different.
And like B, it was just a whack story. But then C, it had like strange connecting factors to Whisper of the Heart.
That was weird.
Like we watched them in this order because I knew that the cat first introduced, like the Baron was first introduced in Whisper of the Heart, and I was like, oh, so like surely the stories kind of go together. And I figured after watching Whisper of the Heart that it would be like the story that she wrote.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But I mean, this was fine too.
But this was pretty just funny. Weird.
It was pretty funny.
No, it was like enjoyable and it was funny. I don't think it was as good as most Ghibli movies. I only gave it 3.5. But it was definitely like it was interesting.
All right. Did you watch anything else, Micah?
I did not. That was the last of it.
I watched my first Fred Astaire movie, Carefree, which is concerning. The actual storyline of this movie is concerning to me.
Right.
I don't know. It was weird.
I was playing a game while watching this, and I was like, wait, what the heck?
Yeah. Let's just say I hope Swing Time is better than this.
It was so whack.
But yeah, no, that's what we watched in the past 2 weeks. Sorry for it taking up more time than us actually critiquing a movie this episode.
No, I think we were like 39 minutes for critiquing the movie, so we kind of make the cutoff.
All right, we just have to finish it really quickly.
Deathly Hallows.
Deathly Hallows Part 2.
We gotta have a quote to finish off the whole thing.
Taking one last look at my friends.
Taking one last look at my friends.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so guys, I made this joke while we were watching it, and I thought it was pretty funny. So when Harry takes the Elder Wand from Voldemort, like it goes flying through the air and he catches it.
This was a great quote.
And I said, I am all the Jedi.
I am all the Jedi.
Okay, if you've seen Rise of Skywalker, hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty funny though.
Okay, whatever. This will be very interesting.
What?
But
do I have to do anything?
You're gonna do an emotional line delivery.
What?
That's the emotional climax of the movie.
What do I have to say?
It's either one word, and I think you know what that word is.
All right, we'll do it, and if I mess it up, we'll do it again.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, I'm supposed to know? What?
Yes.
What?
One line, emotional climax.
What?
It's put on all the bumper stickers.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There are literal necklaces made with this one word and the Harry Potter font slapped on it.
What?
One word. Emotional climax.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I think I got it.
Now that you peeked out the microphone.
I think I got it.
I'm going to lead into your intro.
I don't think I got it. Okay.
I was gonna think of something clever, but now I've lost it. So Robbie,
what?
Do you finally like the Harry Potter franchise?
Always. No. Wow.
I know it's not his dying words, but still. Yeah, always.
Wow.
Can't believe you couldn't think about that.
Like, I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to be a Harry Potter fan to see the thousands of bumper stickers and necklaces and T-shirts and everything that is slapped onto.
You wear short skirts, I wear T-shirts.
Something, 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 something. I'm in the bleach.
How dare you, Mike? You're a disgrace to this podcast and
Sorry.
to the entire Wizarding world.